to deliver those skills, and that we act as brokers in order to have that conversation, then I think there is an opportunity to build quite a strong economy locally.
I think there's a good story to tell here. Yes, we've heard about how poor Wolverhampton is at actually keeping graduates and how they go to different cities and decide to stay there. I think that's a fabrication. I think the reality is that what we haven't said is how good it would be for graduates to stay here and the kind of jobs that will be coming here. And the fact that, as Sean said, as businesses leave or businesses fail, competition changes and the opportunity to set your own business up to do something increases. I mean, we get criticised in Wolverhampton for what's going on in the economy, but just the programme that Anne has been doing for the last year, we've managed to place 130 unemployed graduates into businesses across the sub-region. 70% of those have got jobs. The national average is 30%. So what does that tell you about this place? So the more businesses that are turned on to what a graduate can offer, and some of them just don't know until they turn up and start doing some work and changing things. We turn them on to what a graduate can offer, then they'll realise that they need to go and hunt them and track them down and make sure they stay in the city.
Oh, you just mentioned about people starting on businesses. Colin in Whitmarines has asked, I want to start my own business, but need someone to start it. Where can I get it from? I hear that the banks aren't lending any money now. So how is he meant to start a business?
Can I make one suggestion, and that's that Colin makes a visit to the Business Solutions Centre at the Science Park. It's not very far from where he is in Whitmarines, actually, just off the Stafford Road, where he can expect to get advice on where to access grants and support in one place. And that's been opened very recently in the city, so it's a good place for him to start.
I'll just say that Solution Centre is a partnership between the City Council, the University, the College, the Chamber of Commerce and Business Link. And it's designed to be that easy entry point for anybody either with an established business, a business that wants to grow to become supersonic, or an individual wanting to learn how to start a business.
Well, this can also come down to work experience. So Sahid in Technol has asked by email, I just want some work experience, but everyone I ask says they don't have the time. Who can help? I'm really enthusiastic and want to show I can turn up on time and look presentable and do a good job. What you meant to do?
I think the key with that is, I think part of it is simply to do with like your own CV, how you construct it. I think if he considers either speak with someone to develop how that comes across, I think that would improve his chances anyway, because essentially it's just like a sales document, if you put it in the right way, someone looks at it, that will get you the interviews then, and perhaps then if you consider interview skills, that will then get you those jobs.
Yep. Can I be more direct? Sorry.
Can I answer that? I think part of where Said wants to is come to somewhere like the college or the university where we're actually working with young people to introduce them to companies. I think Sean's right. CVs are very important, but it's the person behind the CV. You need companies to be able to actually see you and see what actually you can offer. So my advice to him is to make an appointment. We're here to get some advice.
So Saeed, go to New Hampton Centre. They're really good at sorting and helping people out getting work experience. We've actually got 3,000 people into jobs in the last 18 months, so these people know what they're doing. So go to the New Hampton Centre, ask for Angela, tell them Barnu sent you.
Do you have a question from the audience? Yeah, lad in the middle row.
We had a question about the banks earlier, and I was wondering how the panel felt about bankers with the current economy, because now we've had a lot of media attention about the bankers getting massive bonuses. There are all these campaigns run by UK Uncut and even the Green Party and things like that. How do you feel that, what effect do you feel bankers have had on this economy?
I'll go with that first. I don't think bankers are the most popular people in the world. I used to run a business. We try to get some money out of a bank and we're turned down flat. I think that we have to accept that there are certain inequalities in society. There are certain segments of society that seem to do quite well regardless of what is going on, and certain segments of society that don't do quite so well. It's how do we react to that? Is it fair or is it unfair? I think the thing to do is you speak to your local MP, you speak to your local councillors and explain how strongly you feel about that. What tends to happen is that there's a bit of a surge and then people become apathetic. We have a democratic system, a way of actually pointing out how we feel about things. That's a thing that we need to use. Because until bankers or whoever it is who are taking advantage of opportunities there understand that there is a backlash, nothing's going to change.
I think there's no question, of course, that bankers and the financial industry in general is absolutely vital to the stability of our country. And in that sense, we have to recognise the vital role that they play in our economy, both fiscally and in terms of stimulating the growth in the broader economy. Having said that, we all know the difficult times that we've been through, and frankly I believe that there ought to be tougher regulatory arrangements in place and more restraint exercised in some areas. I do wish that what would now happen, we're starting to see some of the profit margins again publicly announced, only Barclays the other day, where we know that they're in a position where they could, frankly, if they wanted, start lending more. And there's no better area than to start lending to small businesses to encourage entrepreneurs and people with ideas to get their businesses off the ground. And that really is what needs to happen to create the prosperity we all need.
We have another question from the girl in the black dress.
Do you think that there is competition between people coming in from the EU and America for getting jobs, and from people, say in Wolverhampton, trying to get a job? Who would be more likely to get that
There's
job?
There's always going to be competition, whether it's from Europe, elsewhere, or whether it's in your local town or other parts of the country. So I think the key issue is just to focus on your own competitive advantage, you know, and just work from that, because it doesn't matter who the competition is, if the competition, that's that. So like I said, you know, just focus on your own strengths and promote that out there.
I agree with Sean there. I think you've got to really look at yourself and decide what skills and competencies you have as a person and where you can develop and where you can get help to support you getting that job. So you will get competition. It is fierce out there, and what we need to do is look at where you can actually shine in certain parts of that over other competitors. There's no easy answer to that one.
I'll agree with that. It's up to us as a college to equip every single learner here with the skills that they need so they can be very competitive with whoever it is. We are a European nation, so by rights anybody in Europe can apply for any job anywhere else. There are some very talented people also in India and China and America and Africa, so we have to compete against them. So as a college, it's up to us to equip learners. But I think it's appetite and how hungry individuals are to excel. You know, I'm not saying that people are happy being mediocre, but the more people are prepared to drive themselves, to improve themselves, to equip themselves, the more likely are they to beat up the competition.
Well, we're getting quite a few questions in from emails. Trev the Boy asks, I want to get into music production full time. There are studio facilities in Wolverhampton, but it seems there's no way to get my name known here. Why should I stay in Wolverhampton and not go to London?
I'll sort that off. Wolverhampton has a surprisingly large entertainment industry, much bigger than people imagine. You know, the traditional view that people have of Wolverhampton is an engineering town. We have a huge amount of entertainment here. So the thing I'd say was that to Trevor the Boy is you've got to do the hard work. You've got to go and visit people like Mark Blackstock, who looks after the Slade Room, and get your name known there. You've got to work with some of the circuits around here. Why should you stay here? Because this city is going to be something. So you have to choose whether you want to be part of a city that is going to grow and be excellent, or you want to go somewhere else.
If I can just add to that, and I totally agree with what Banu said, but I think it's about you keeping your options open. And we're not saying you must stay in Wolverhampton and only in Wolverhampton. He needs to get his shoe leather on and go out and go and visit these companies. He can get support from, the college, from the university, and from other areas to introduce him to those organisations. But please keep your options open. Have a broad picture of where you can actually achieve those results.
Well, Rose on Twitter asks, what support will there be for the arts, and how are they going to ensure that they will survive the cuts and play a part in Wolverhampton's future?
I think one of the challenges that the local authority clearly has to address is how it continues to ensure adequate funding for all of our cultural programme and in all aspects of the arts, whether it's visual, performing arts, and obviously to ensure that there is an offer that both attracts, both in relation to the last question, people with an interest in specific fields, as well as provides an offer that casual people, by that I mean visiting the city. Sorry.
Another question from Fabian. Last question from Fabian. Do you think the economy is picking up now? Is the worst of the recession over? That'll be the last question.
Peter, could you answer this?
I don't think so. I think we've got another tough 2 years to go through. Hopefully we might see signs of significant change and improvement in the mid to third quarter of next year. But I think sadly we're going to go through some tough times yet. We'll see more unemployment. Figures announced today have confirmed that situation. So we've still got a way to go.
So that's all we've got time for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to watch it again, like I said earlier, join us at www.mediacove.blogspot.com. Thank you for joining. Thank you to my guests, Banhu, and Peter and Sean. And thank you to my audience for all the questions.
Thank you.